Hey guys, ready for a little nasty truth?
I feel something building up inside me. I must prepare, I must get ready. Serving you, Yahweh, keeps me strong and steady. For you, Lord, I'll go for green living.
Let me say this right now at the beginning. We love our solar system. We love what it does, we love what it can do, and we even don't mind the things that it can't do because we get refrigeration, we get lights, we get the computer, we get the internet, we get what power we need to survive. So at the beginning, let me tell you that solar is good, and I'm not saying it's bad. What I'm saying is that right now, solar has limitations, and with the batteries and stuff like that. Uh, well, let me show you this. Edison batteries, nickel iron batteries. True, they will cost you $15,000, but they are lifetime batteries. If you want to run air conditioning, these are the batteries I would suggest for you. And I'm going to put a couple of pictures up here. Edison battery is still alive. The first one he ever invented is still alive and working. So uh, check into that. True, they're coming down a lot of prices. The last set for 900 amp hours was at $15,000 that you could get, and which that is a really good price because just last year they were $30,000. So next year, you never know what you're going to be able to get them for. But they're lifetime batteries. You won't have to buy batteries anymore. These are golf cart batteries. I am, like I said, a homestead. This is what I can afford right now. Uh, Forklift batteries would be good. They would be awesome. They would be better than these. Uh, any deep cycle uh, batteries would be really good. All right, in my video, which I'll link right up here, the nasty truth about solar, I uh, I had a bunch of comments, and one of the comments was their air conditioner was 1,350 watts. That at 120 volts, you divide that into this, so it's 11.25 amps. If you take the amps and you multiply it by the volts, you'll get the watts. So it's an easy calculation. You can figure out any three of these if you just check the little tags on your units, and they'll tell you some of these information. It's going to be, plug it into a wall, it's going to be 120 volts. Sometimes they'll tell you the amps, sometimes they'll tell you the watt. So uh, this is where you figure it out. Okay, so with this calculation, I'm not saying all air conditioners are 1,350 watts. Somebody said they had one that was 685, but I can imagine that that's a 5,000 BTU air conditioner, single room air conditioner. So really inefficient. Really, that's another soapbox. So this bigger air conditioner, if you're going to run one, I would say the bigger the better because it will work less to cool off your area. And you run a little, a little 5,000 watt BTU air conditioner in your house, and you're just gonna be zinging your electricity. So, but anyway, let's go on. We'll go with this one, and at 11.25 amps. Okay, now my battery bank is 420 amp hours. Let me put that on there. 420 amp hours, and we're going by mine as an example. All right, 420 amp hours. All right, now if I ran this air conditioner for 5 hours, that would be 56.25 amps, and that's a sixth of my battery bank for the day. Okay, now so that would turn out to be, that leave me with 363.75. Okay, that doesn't sound that bad, but there's a few calculations that you're not putting into this, and we're fixing to get into those. Okay, next is the heat. It's solar panels are the most inefficient when it's hot. If you have yours on your roof, then you've lost a third of your uh, production anyway. I know they're getting better, and I'm not saying all solar panels are like that. They're getting better, but for the last 20 years, they have been this way. Uh, so, anyway, let's go on. But okay, now using that many amps, your inverter is going to heat up, your battery is going to heat up, and when you're using that many amps for that long, your battery is going to heat up to the point where they're going to lose about a third of their amp hours. Everybody's done it. They've been out someplace hot, and then all of a sudden, your cell phone just stops working, and you put it in the cool, and it'll start working again. So, but this it's same principle. Your batteries will heat up because of the amps you're pulling out of them, because it's a lot of power. And anyway, that'll leave you with roughly. I'm not saying these are exact figures because it could vary depending on where you're at and the batteries you have and the inverter. I'm talking about my system. And okay, now the inverter, it uses power, and it's uses mine is 90% efficient, which is, I know everybody's going to give me a hard time, say, oh, you can get better than that. You can, but you aren't going to get this quality uh, and with this kind of warranty for the price that I had to pay for it. And it's a Snyder inverter. And if you do your research, you'll see that there's still Snyder inverters, from 15 years ago working. And check on your other ones, see how well they're doing. All right. Now, when it's producing that much uh, power, it gets hot. So it's going to turn on its fan. And, oops, sorry. And so that you can pretty much double what it's going to use out of your power. All right. So that leaves us with 139.75 watts. Amp hours. I'm sorry. This down here. And that's less than 50% of my battery bank. Even at this 223, you don't want to ever bring it down that low. Even at that much, you're taking away the chunk of your life. Batteries have a how many times they can be charged up and drained down built into them. It's so you have to keep buying batteries. So it's you can bring them back to life. You can take some drain out the acid, store it, take some Epsom salt and water, make a salt water slush, and put it in your batteries for 24 hours, and then dump them out and uh, make sure all the salt water's out, and then put your acid back in there, and good chance that you'll have a brand new battery. It's not guaranteed, but it has worked, and I've kept batteries alive for 9 years. So, okay, so back to where we're at. All right, now the air conditioner didn't use, but you know, 100 and something, in the amp. I mean, in my amp hours. So it left me with 363. But if you add in the heat, the inverter, then we're way down here at 139 amp hours, and that's not good. Your battery bank is way less than 50%, and you just chunked a life off your batteries. And running an air conditioner every day, even for this 5 hours a day, you're going to have to replace your batteries in like 200 days. And in that 200 days, my batteries cost me $1,200. And so if you divide that up, that's roughly $200 a month. I could have air conditioner running with the power company 24/7 and only pay about $125 a month in electricity bill. So this way is not very efficient. Now, if you were to go with those Edison nickel iron batteries, you wouldn't have to worry about this. You could bring your batteries all the way down to zero, and it wouldn't affect them a bit. It wouldn't lose their life any. But that's throwing $15,000 at batteries. If you're going to invest in solar, and you know you're going to invest in solar, go ahead and get the Edison batteries and start off with a couple of panels. You might not have, be able to charge them all uh, right away, but you'll have a battery bank that lasts you forever. So you can just add panels and add your inverter, add all that other to it, and get a lot more efficient as you go along. So, but you'll end up with, depending on how big a system you want, $25,000. But you have batteries for life. I'm in my inverter box, so I have to talk kind of loud. But when that battery starts blinking at 99%, that means my battery bank is fully charged. And being that it's almost midday right now, uh, there's going to be a float time. You could run your air conditioner during that float time, and it won't strain on your batteries. But if you're going into a hot room and you expect the air conditioner to cool it off in an hour, hour and a half, then that's going to be kind of hard. So float time is good. That's when I run my well. That's why it's a little bit low right now, but the sun just went behind the clouds, and you can see how it's dropping just from the sun going behind a little thin cloud. So that's pretty good proof right there for that. Y'all saw it on camera. All right, but during that float time, you can run something that's high amperage, and it won't affect your batteries. There it comes back up. The sun's coming back out. You've seen it now. All right. You aren't going to cool off your house in the hour, hour and a half that you have float time, and you can't run anything else. Now, all these calculations I didn't tell you. With all these calculations, that's not running anything else. No well pump, no refrigerator, no lights, no washing machine. Uh, you're not running anything else just to have a few hours worth of air conditioning. And if you want to run an air conditioner and you want to save your solar system, if you're like me and you're trying to do it on a budget, get a generator, and just gas is cheap enough right now. Just run your air conditioner off the generator and you'll save the life of your batteries, and you won't have to worry about it. You know, it's an option. I'm not saying you have to. You could run through your batteries and you can buy them. I personally can't afford to buy batteries every 6 months. I'm lucky to be able to buy them every 2 years when the warranty runs out. And they do kind of end when the warranty runs out. So they make them so they do fail like that. I'm not saying that everybody's bad, but they're out to make money too. So what you can do is you can find you a nice shady spot under a tree. I hope that there's a breeze. There's a slight one today, but not enough. But find you a nice shady spot. Fix you a nice tall glass of iced tea because you were able to run your refrigerator and make ice. And sit back and just enjoy the few hours. Well, it's not an enjoyment, but it's uh, just tolerate the few hours that you have to deal with the heat because it's just blistering hot. And even with air conditioning, you wouldn't be working right now anyway, you know. So I hope this helps everybody. And believe me, we love our solar system and would not trade anything for it. And I mean that. But I definitely not dissing solar. But what I'm telling you is I'm just being straight with you, so you know what you can expect when you're out there and you're doing it yourself. All right, guys. Ani Ove Ocha means I love you in Hebrew, and I mean it. Later, guys.
Living the way you meant for me to live is what I strive to do every day. As I live off the land, you lead me at your pace. For you, Lord, I'll go for green living. Help me to feed all the hungry. Use me, Lord, to ease their misery. From all this worldly pain and captivity, for you, Lord, I'll go for green living. I feel something building up inside me. I must prepare, I must get ready. Serving you, Yahweh, keeps me strong and steady.